Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this is lecture number 4 of the chapter Current Electricity, and we will discuss about Ohm's law in this lecture. In the previous 3 lectures we have discussed about potential difference, current and resistance. If you haven't still watched those videos, please do watch those videos and then come to this video, then you will understand Ohm's law. So Ohm's law this is a law which was discovered by a German scientist. His name was George Simon Ohm. Okay, in the year 1826. So he was a German scientist and he discovered this law. What he said is that he did some experiment, and in the experiment he observed something. And what he observed, first let me explain what he observed. Suppose you have taken a battery. A battery does what? A battery gives a potential difference. A battery, this is how we represent a battery or a cell. So this battery was there and he has connected the battery to a wire. And of course, this thing you should know, when a battery is connected across a wire, a current flows. This current, which is represented by the letter I, the current flows in the circuit. So he observed one small thing, that when he kept a battery of say 5 volt, he observed a current of say 1 ampere, right? Then what he did, he increased the battery from 5 volt to 10 volt, and consequently he saw that the current also increased twice, means to 2 ampere. Then again he increased the battery to 15 volt and the current also increased 3 ampere. So what happens, he saw that the current which is flowing in the circuit, that is proportional to the potential difference that I am giving. So he said current is proportional, this current which is flowing, that is proportional to the potential difference V. More the battery, more the power of the battery, more the current will flow. So current is proportional to the potential difference. The actual definition I'll write it later, but let's understand what is Ohm's law. So current is proportional to potential difference, what he said. Now we know to remove the proportionality sign, we have to introduce a constant. So I becomes equal to V into a K, into a constant, right? Constant say K. So I can say I is equal to V into K. Now can I write this, change this thing in a little different way? See, K is there, I'm shifting the K from right hand side to the left hand side. So what happens? V is equal to 1 by K into I, right? Now let's change it a little bit more. So V is equal to I into 1 by K. Okay, just what I did, shifted the right hand side on the left hand side and the left hand side on the right hand side, nothing more. And this 1 by K is say K is a constant, so 1 by K will also be a constant, right? K is say value is 2. So this 1 by K means what? 1 by 2, that is also a constant. So this 1 by K becomes R. So this R is the resistance. This R is the resistance offered by the wire. So and also it is a constant. It is a constant quantity. So V is equal to IR. So that is how he derived a relationship between potential difference and current. Okay, I hope you understood this derivation. I am just explaining once more if you haven't understood. I is proportional to V. That's what he said. Now to remove the proportional sign, you have to introduce a constant, and this proportional sign changes into equal to sign. Now this constant, I can change it according to my wish. So I've shifted the K from the right hand side to the left hand side. So it becomes 1 by K. Now if K is a constant, obviously this 1 by K also has to be a constant only. So if I write in this way, V is equal to I into 1 by K. Just same thing. You see this side, this and this is the same, just left and right shift. And this 1 by K, which is a constant, I have taken this 1 by K as R. So 1 by K becomes, okay, if you're not understanding, 1 by K, that becomes equal to R. So V is equal to IR. That's the relationship he developed. So he said that the current flowing in a conductor, you will find this definition in the book also, in my notes also, that he said current flowing in a conductor is proportional to the potential difference applied across the ends of the conductor. Okay, potential difference applied across the ends of the conductor. But he stated some condition. The conditions are, this law will be only followed if the physical quantities and temperature remains constant. If I increase the temperature in the entire experiment, then Ohm's law is not valid. So this is also the limitations of Ohm's law. This Ohm's law is only valid when the temperature is constant. So in this entire process, my temperature is constant. That is the main thing. Okay. So he said, so when the current is flowing across the ends of across the conductor, the current is proportional to the potential difference, and in this entire process, my physical conditions and the temperature should remain constant. So this is the exact definition of Ohm's law. It states that what? It states that the current flowing in a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference. So you can see the important word. Current flowing in a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference. Okay. Applied across the ends of the conductor, provided that the temperature and the physical condition and temperature remains constant. So these are some important keywords in the entire definitions. Remember, if the question comes in the exam that what is Ohm's law, you please write the exact definition to get the full marks. And to understand this thing, I have drawn a little diagram. Say this is the conductor and I have the ends of the conductor. These are the ends of the conductor is applied to a potential difference, right? And they are saying how much current is flowing across the conductor. This current I will always depend on how much potential difference I'm giving. If I'm giving higher potential difference, say I'm giving 100 volt, then I will get lot of current, say 10 ampere current. Just for these are just example, don't take these as the real values. So suppose this is a 100 volt, so I'll get 10 ampere. If this and if I'm giving lower potential difference, say only say 5 volt, probably I will get 1 ampere current. Okay, so if I give 100 volt of potential difference, then I'll get 10 ampere current. If I give only 5 volt, probably that will give me say 1 ampere current, something like that you consider. Okay, don't give the exact value, just to make you understand it. As you can see, there is, as the potential difference decreases, the current in the wire also decreases, and if the potential difference increases, the current in the wire also increases. This is what Ohm's law states. Now after this, we have to discuss a little more about Ohm's law related to the VI graph. But before the VI graph, let me get the SI unit of resistance, right? So from this, we came from this definition, we came to equation or a form that V is equal to IR, right? V is equal to IR. So what is R? What is resistance? Resistance is voltage by current. Okay. Now, what is the unit of voltage? Voltage unit is volt and current unit is ampere. So it becomes VA to the power of minus 1. So unit of resistance becomes voltage and current to the power of ampere, VA to the power of minus 1. Now this VA to the power of minus 1 is said as ohm. Okay. So this VA to the power of minus 1 is together said as ohm, and the symbol of ohm is like this. Okay. So the SI unit of resistance is ohm. So SI unit of our R means resistance, that is ohm, and the symbol of ohm is like this. Okay, omega symbol. So I hope you understood till this part. Now suppose a question comes, define 1 ohm. So how we are going to answer this question? How to define 1 ohm, resistance of 1 ohm? See, we know this formula, V is equal to IR, right? So R becomes what? R is equal to V by I. Suppose you consider, okay, V is equal to 1 volt and I is equal to 1 ampere. So what happens? Now R becomes 1 volt by 1 ampere. So R becomes 1 volt ampere to the power of minus 1, and this 1 volt ampere to the power of minus 1, this is given as 1 ohm. I told you the symbol of resistance is omega. So how to define 1 ohm? So resistance is 1 ohm when a current of 1 ampere passes through a conductor where the potential difference is 1 volt. So how to define again I'm saying how to define 1 ohm? When a current of 1 ampere passes through a conductor, this current of 1 ampere is passing through a conductor, and that conductor is kept, the ends of the conductor is kept to a potential difference of 1 volt. So if I talk about like this is the conductor, suppose say, and through this conductor, across the conductor, this battery is connected. Now I'm saying the battery has to be how much? This battery has to be 1 volt. This battery has to be 1 volt, and the current we have to pass a current of 1 ampere. So the ends of the conductor are connected to a potential difference or a battery of 1 volt, and a current of 1 ampere is passing. Then the resistance of this conductor, this conductor resistance will become 1 ohm, right? So that exact definition you will get in your book or in my notes also. So I hope you understood how to define 1 ohm. Now this next topic is to understand this IV curve. Now this IV curve we have already done in your practicals. In practicals we have done this experiment. Obviously in this time we have done it digitally, but this IV curve is very important because the graph has a lot of significance. Now let's understand this. What is this IV curve is about? I means what? Current, and V means what? Voltage. So it is a current voltage curve or a graph. Okay, graph. So we consider a conductor. This conductor is connected to an ammeter, and the ends of the conductor is connected to a battery. Battery means what? Potential difference. This ammeter that we have used, what is the use of ammeter? What is the purpose of ammeter? This ammeter's purpose is to measure the current. To measure current, we need a device, and that device is called as ammeter, which is represented by this, okay, A with a circle. Now we will do one small experiment to see the values, okay, of voltage, for particular voltage, how much current I am getting. So suppose say I applied a potential difference of 4 volt, okay, and this ammeter shows a reading of 2 ampere, okay. So as I apply a potential difference of 4, the current in the circuit, the current becomes 2 ampere. Okay, no problem. Then I slightly increase this battery voltage. So this 4 voltage, suppose it became 6 volt, and as soon as it became 6 volt, the current became 3 ampere. Okay, very good. So the voltage became 6, in this current became 3. Then slowly you increase this voltage once more and it becomes 8 volt, and subsequently this, when I increase the potential to 8 volt, the current becomes 4 ampere. Say 8 and this becomes 4. Achha, these are all theoretical numbers, and practically if you do it you might not get these exact numbers. Okay, these are numbers which I have taken to make it little easier for you to understand. Don't think if I apply a voltage 4 volt I'll get 2 ampere. That never happens. For 4 volt you get a very small amount of current. Okay, 2 amperes current is a lot of current. So these are just numbers which I've taken theoretically. These are not practical numbers. Okay, now if I increase the voltage from 8 volt to say 10 volt, consequently the current becomes 5 ampere. Okay, very good. So this 10 and this becomes 5, and if I take the last reading, if the voltage becomes 12 volt, the current becomes 6 ampere. So if it becomes 12, this becomes 6. So these are the readings that I got, right? Now the readings, whatever I have got, I have to plot that in a graph, right? So to plot that in a graph. So these readings I will plot it in a graph, but see how am I plotting? So for a graph to plot a graph, I need two axes, the y-axis and the x-axis. So this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. This x-axis represents the voltage, and this y-axis represents the current. Say current I. It represents the current. Now we have to plot these values on this graph. So how we are going to plot it? Before plotting the graph, we should know how to divide the axis. That is the foremost important thing. So where both the axes meet, I'll take that as 0. Okay, we all know that. Then we will divide this axis according to the graph. We can see these are all multiples of 2. So I'll take after 0, I'll take this as 2 volt, 4 volt, 6 volt, 8 volt, 10 volt, say 12 volt. Okay. So these are all, this is 2 volt, 4 volt, 6, 8, 10 and 12 volt. And the current I have to also divide it. Now if you see these values, all I can see is these are the multiples of 1. So I'll divide my current axis in the multiples of 1. So after 0, I'll take 1 ampere, 2 ampere, 3 ampere, 4 ampere, say 5 ampere, say 6 ampere. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Now I will take these values and put it on the graph. See, for 4 volt I am getting 2 ampere. So for 4 I am getting 2. So this is where both of them mix, right? Now for 6 volt I am getting 3 ampere. So for 6 I am getting 3. So somewhere over here the point lies. For 8 volt 4 ampere. So for 8 I am getting 4 ampere. Somewhere over here, if we see this, for 5 volt, for 10 volt 5 ampere. For 10 volt 5 ampere, and for 12 I am getting 6. For 12 6. So these are the plots points I got. If you plot it on a graph. Now my work is to join these points. Now when I join the points, I get a straight line. If you see, I get a straight line. If we extend the straight line, it passes through the origin. So the straight line always, so the IV curve is a straight line. So IV curve, it is a straight line and it passes through the origin. So from here, one thing we have to understand, any conductor which is obeying Ohm's law, the graph that I will get will be always a straight line. Again, I'm repeating myself, a conductor which is obeying Ohm's law, the IV curve for that conductor will be a straight line which just now I have drawn. Clear till here? Now this straight line indicates what? Okay, this straight line I got. So what that indicates? It indicates that the resistance of the conductor will not change. Even I increase the voltage from 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12, and subsequently the current also increases, but the resistance, that is not going to change at all. So formula of resistance is what? V by I, as far as we know. Resistance is voltage by current. Now you apply, what is the resistance value over here? 4 by 2, V by I, na? So 4 by 2, that gives 2. Over here, 6 by 3, 2, 8 by 4, 2, 10 by 5, 2, 12 by 6, that is also 2. So resistance in the conductor will not change as long as you don't change the conductor itself. Okay, if you change the conductor from, say, previously you had a copper conductor and then you changed it into an iron conductor, then the resistance will change. But as long as the conductor remains same, okay, you are not changing the rod conductor, the resistance will not change. So resistance for a conductor is a fixed value. So we can change the potential, we can change the current, but resistance is a constant quantity. So I hope you understood the VI curve. Now the last topic is, what are the limitations of Ohm's law? Means when we cannot apply Ohm's law. Can it be applicable everywhere? No, there are certain conditions, there are certain restrictions till where we can apply Ohm's law, and after that you cannot apply. So the only condition over here is that limitations of Ohm's law, we can only apply Ohm's law in a conductor when the temperature remains constant. So Ohm's law is only applied, Ohm's law can only be applied if the temperature remains constant. Remember, if the temperature remains constant through the entire experiment, then only the Ohm's law can be applied. If the temperature changes, then the values will also change, and then we will not get our desired value of resistance. Then the whole experiment goes wrong. So this is the only limitations of Ohm's law. So I hope you understood this lecture 3, which is about Ohm's law. So if you have any other doubts regarding the lecture, you are free to write in the comment section. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So wait for my next video where I will discuss the factors affecting the resistance, and probably the super ohmic conductor and non-ohmic conductors and superconductors, whatever is left in the first part. So till here, take care, bye.